I'm getting your Twitch pulled up at the second. We always time that wrong. You're trying to get in while I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I gotta start it times out or whatever.
Yeah, because I'm always trying to pull up your stream while you're trying to get
Oh,
in.
okay. Yep. Well, there was an OBS update, so hopefully it doesn't crash, or hopefully it fixes whatever my.
All right. Well,
Or
I'm in game now, so.
okay. Okay. Somewhat there for you. I sent my live stream link to Brad just right now.
Yeah.
Just let him know, you know. I'm
Oh, I
waiting.
haven't seen it yet.
Does game host is have to.
Just being slow tonight.
Yeah, I guess so. That's happened before.
Which I kind of need you in the game because I need I need you to move the
Unload.
tractor.
I was gonna say unload your.
I already unloaded the first go around, but I need the tractor moved.
Let's see. Could need to start. Hold on. Let's quest again. I feel like it's not doing. Longest we've or the had.
There it goes.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's like I gotta stop it and start it.
Yeah. Yep. Can't do potatoes if you don't turn the harvester on.
But yeah, I chatted a little bit with Brad. He has 22 as well, so technically could just get in if
Well,
it line
the
up. I mean, it's a Friday night. He's got stuff.
I'd have to reset things up.
Well, what I mean is got this. Wouldn't have to
I know,
necessarily wait.
but he plays on a console, not a PC.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, we'd have to have a. I didn't think about that. That's. I guess. I guess
That's
that's right.
gonna
I guess I didn't. I guess I kind of. For some reason, I kind of thought maybe by now, being older lad, he'd probably uh be a PC.
well, but he's got kids and he probably has
Well,
something that they can
yeah,
play.
and console for having kids until they get older is easier. They just turn it on. Let's see. Should be on.
I mean, I would do it. I mean, if
But yeah, we'd have to. But that'd be fine. Let's see. Oh, I gotta go. I can't even.
are you completely full?
Yeah. Well, this is 53% max. It's the max load
Mm.
rating. I. That's right. I guess we did fill it up before. But
No, no. It had a little bit in it before we quit, and then I just got done filling it while
okay.
you were trying to get in.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a horsepower limitation of the tractor. We discussed this.
You know, you know what? I think I saw in 25 that's a setting you can turn on and off. So if you want it so that it'll just go, or if you want a fill limit, I got I got kind of getting kind of burned out a little bit, starting to get the fringes of burned out on River Bend. So I think this weekend I'm not gonna play it River Bend anyways. I mean I'm still farming, but
Something.
I'm gonna do. There's three other maps right now because they released the at least three. Because they've already released one in the mod hub. It's more of like a no man's land. It's called New Frontiers. And then there's two that came with the game. And I wanted to do the Asian map because actually I was thinking the Southeast Asia map was going to be very small fields,
Yeah.
but the only fields on it that are small are the rice fields. They actually have larger fields on the map than the American one.
Hmm.
So I started a game saving that, and I'll probably play that this weekend. And then there's another one called Slavonka, and I'm doing that one too. But I started those game saves, and then I'm probably gonna do New Frontier, but I'm not jumping to it yet because everybody that wants to play No Man Land style, um, they've already jumped to it. So
Oh. Yeah.
that really wants out. So I'll be right back.
Well.
Oh, and before I forget to mention it, you're probably gonna miss me tomorrow. Um, I gotta move everything an hour early.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. That's
I have to get treats for the soccer team.
Oh. Yeah. Yep. We were summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Right.
I still don't know if we're gonna get this field done tonight. I still don't. There's a good possibility we don't.
Oh, that's. I guess.
Well, anyways, I'm hoping when you guys switch over, and if we do, um, instead of doing special multiplayer maps, I was thinking of just using the game saves that I already currently have because I can make them multiplayers.
Yeah, well, that'd be fine.
The only thing is, and again, it's just I'd have to figure out what's appropriate for console and what isn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Wonder if there's a setting, like especially with mods that
there, 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 those, or there
that
was
would
in 22.
help you with that, so
Yeah,
you wouldn't choose some. I mean, granted, we got to
yeah,
get him hooked up on Discord and stuff like that, and yeah, figure out his schedule. Need to just get him on the Discord so then we can chat, like not necessarily voice chat, but just post in there, and then we're oh okay, you know, or I guess we could do a group Facebook message. That's easier for him. I don't know. That's the only. Well, I probably still. Facebook's probably the ding him.
yeah.
That's how I talked to
how
him
I,
before.
yeah, that's how I usually talk to him.
I mean, Facebook's not the best for me. I don't use Facebook. I don't have Facebook phone, but I do use the web version. But it's like my messages wouldn't be instant. Like Discord, if you messaged me, privately or on the server, tag me or at me, or I'll look at it and I mess around on my phone too.
Yeah,
Some of the other servers I'm in, I've thought about trying motorcycle related server going, but like when I look at my demographics for what I'd want, like these last couple of videos, they got their views. I wouldn't say they've stalled out, but now they're down to just okay, we get 20 views a day or something like that. And I look at the demographics, because they got a lot of views, but it's like 50, like 50 plus, and that's like 0%, like 18 to 50, and my biggest group is like 65 plus, in the age, which makes sense given the models, but I thought maybe, younger, well, like me, younger, that are now buying these bikes stuff, that may not know a lot about them, finding, or just, kind of our generation and younger are all into this, like will it run, and getting old, kind of doing cars, old now cars, some of them, the cars that we didn't bat, well, like my Valiant, it's not anything, but now it's like that's content. Getting a car like that and driving it and whatever is content. It's like, I don't know if I'd call it cool, but you know, nobody was
yeah,
looking for him back when I was driving it, kind of thing. That's why I had to make it what I made it, kind of. I can't, it was a little over the top, but buy it. Who does that? Well, now that's a thing, like nobody can afford, vintage, like Mustangs, any of the Dodge stuff out of the late 60s, but they can afford, Chevy Caprices and stuff,
yeah.
So that's kind of that's kind of popular. We're on that weird edge where we're 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 Gen. I mean, we're Gen X, but we're really young X, and we're not. No, we're not really millennial. I mean, we don't identify that much with it, or
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Well, speaking of that, this is kind of related a little bit. One of my one of my friends was like, um, today we got to talking about FS25, and he was I saw him at the gas station. That's how it all started. Um, but I said, oh, I got to get my lottery ticket. I said, I'm hoping it hits so I can retire. And he said, well, when you retire, he goes, just hire me so that we can, when you go streaming full time.
Yeah.
And I said, well, there'd be a little bit of that, but I said it would probably be more of being like um that whistling. I don't want to say his full name, but
Yeah.
anyways,
I know who you're talking about.
but I'm like I'd be a redneck with money, but I said at the same time, um, I wouldn't do this stupid stuff he does. I would actually I do stuff more like what Junkyard Digs would want to do. I mean, like that's stuff we I think would do more than
Yeah. Well, that what's funny is, my folks were out there. I showed them some of their farming, farming with abandoned equipment and and whatnot, and just the way they go at it. It's like, yeah, that's you and Derek, or that's you and Jeff, kind of thing.
yeah.
See, they're in their, I mean, they're young. I mean, they're in their late 20s. I mean, almost. That's
Yeah.
that's granted we were out doing our own thing by that time. I have to go go be adults or have real real jobs and responsibilities. But it's like what we were doing back when we had less responsibility.
Yeah.
Like that, college-ish days.
Yeah, I was like, I'd like to do stuff like that. If I won the lottery, I mean, streaming would be still a part of it, but I think it'd be more fun to do that stuff or some of this other stuff that I kind of think of as side projects. Speaking of that, I ordered those Shinedown symbols, and I haven't seen them yet. I would have thought because they've been cutting stuff out, I would have thought that they've been cut out by now, but I'm a little concerned that they got sent to the other guy. But I guess if they did, um, it's not a huge deal because then I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
If they do ask me, I'd be like, well, I never got it.
Yeah.
I thought about asking about it today, but I didn't. For this week. On 25, I'm surprised that they've got a lot of mods coming out. Like not every day, but they're already putting out a lot of mods, which has me kind of thinking that maybe they a lot of these mods are made by like giants or like people that work at giants, and they developed them while working on the game.
So they had
And
them kind of ready for shortly.
yeah, they have them kind of ready so that they could they could throw out mods as they're going so that people had them, because I think that could have been maybe one of the complaints in previous versions, is it takes so long to get mods in the beginning. And so I kind of wonder if they didn't do that, and I think that's what happened with that new Frontiers map. I kind of wonder if they didn't already have it developed, and then they waited and released it a couple weeks after launch, or a month. Nope, it's not quite a month yet, so it'd be a couple weeks. And I already heard of I was telling Casual about this today. I heard, I don't know if it's released yet, but I've already seen previews for some maps that are coming up. One of them was called Riverview, and I think it's supposed to be I think it is a European map. I think it's a crossover map, but it's a FS22 map. I could be wrong, but that name sounds familiar.
Speaking of sort of the crossplay with console, I kind of wonder. I kind of wonder what the limitations could be, other than certain mods and things. But I wonder if it'll be slower or what.
No, it's just the only differences are they're limited on how many mods they can have, and they're limited on scripts. So like in this version with GPS, I they don't have a GPS in their version. Because it's a script, and I think previously, before FS22, I think they didn't allow any scripts, and then they started, after 22 on 22 they started adding a few, but yeah, so they'd have to watch. That's the kind of stuff that you have to watch. It's not so much the equipment that you use, it's the...
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's a few pieces of equipment that he wouldn't have. Speaking of that, this reminds me of that. They're already coming out with some of the unrealistic pieces that I'm kind of shocked, because usually that's something that doesn't come out right away. Usually you have to play with realistic equipment for a while. But I saw a rotor rig in this last week that was made to hold. It would be about the size of your grain cart right there, but it would hold 250,000 liters.
Okay.
So they're already even popping those out.
Well, now since you've been on this, would you ever go back to console for anything other than like older games that you still want to play? Nostalgia factor.
Well, no, not really. Not even for nostalgia. I can get everything I want on the PC.
Okay. I just want. That's what I figured. I just didn't know if
farm sim wise, there's no way that I'd ever want to go back. And then
well, I'm not talking just farm sim though.
But other games, yeah, no. I mean, Fortnite. The only thing it really matters is on that game would be a difference in video quality, or whatever you want to call it, screen quality, which you've seen the difference. But other games, yeah, no, um I don't think there's a I think I can get pretty much everything I'd want on a console. If I want it bad enough, I could get it on the PC somewhere.
Well, yeah, there's yeah ports and stuff. I mean, it's just like G whenever GTA 6 hits, it I don't know because in the past it took a year at least before it came to people. They always developed
Yeah,
console.
that's what they're saying.
So, but so I mean, there's that. But um, I guess, and my question really leans into you know, the reason console. And again, this is we're talking about Brad, someone like Brad, but not just. But I guess you know is there still a compelling I'm kind of wondering, is there still a compelling reason for and there must be because they're next generation, but the turn it on and play,
Well,
turn it on, just turn it on and play. And it kind of like a lack of a better way to analogy, great analogy, but like a phone, whether you're Android or iPhone, it just more or less just works. Fiddling around. I mean, PC, you gotta sometimes fiddle around, and I know there's a learning curve to that. I mean, you're I mean, you figured it out, and it's not that hard. But little bug things here or there, or crashes might mean to do this or that, or go on a forum where that's more or less probably not much of a thing on console. I'm guessing, but is that just
games still, or at least the games I played, still crashed occasionally on console when I was playing console.
well, yeah, because they're essentially computer, but probably less so, I guess.
I don't know about less so, but the only difference would be is you just restarted the game again, and hopefully, depending on what you were playing and if it needed game saves and stuff, you might lose information.
Yeah.
Like if I was playing Farm Sim and I didn't save it, I might be a little frustrated
Well,
because
I
I might
guess,
have lost something there. But
I guess the whole, in the more modern age, the like to me the only potential compelling reason to go console is again it just turn it on works. But even that doesn't seem like it's a thing because you gotta, you know, it takes a long time to install sometimes. I mean that, but it just works.
it takes it. But see, that's the thing. It's you still have to install games on a console.
Well, right. I
Just
know.
like you, just
That's
like
why I guess what I'm getting at is I kind of don't understand
well,
outside of Nintendo, and Nintendo stuff, IP, intellectual properties, and all that are exclusive. Uh, and maybe there I just got it. There is console exclusive stuff, I guess, or at least delay. It's like a timed. But is it? I guess that's the thing. I'm struggling, and I have struggled for a while. The modern age, and that's it. Partly why even after growed up and was an adult and had my own money and all that, it never really entered my mind to buy a modern console. Is I could I never did, but I could just play things on PC because I always had a PC. So I was like, well, why
yeah.
have this other device outside of it just works or in back in the day too, like you could hook it up to your TV, but where TVs are more or less monitors, I mean, the hardcore argue with me saying that because there is differences. When you're not into gotta have the 100% best visual, TV's a monitor for like you and me.
Well,
But I guess that's what I'm saying is like, other than specific use cases, why wouldn't you do PC? Other than I guess they aren't as approachable. Just don't go to, well, I mean, get kind of ripped off. You just go to like Best Buy or when Walmart was selling gaming PC. You didn't get a lot of bang for your buck if you didn't know what you were doing. Didn't have people to help you, guide you. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good for the money, or that isn't. You don't need that, or you need the. I guess I get that, and maybe that's the reason to buy a console is you just don't want to get into that. You don't want to have to get into that
well, but
community.
so you're talking about all this, but um, I heard a story about a month or two ago that Sony was getting ready for their next. It's kind of like a half. Not it's not the next gen, but they do like the current version, kind of like an update to it.
Well, like the Xbox, like One S or whatever. It wasn't a new
Yeah, yep,
generation, but it was just a update,
yep.
maybe. Or
They were getting ready to do that, and they were like, okay, so Xbox has got to be doing this, right? And um, the story is the Xbox just basically said, well, nope, we're not doing that. We're actually going to release what would be our next generation model. And they're like, oh, Sony's like, oh crap, like we're behind the curve now, gonna be behind the curve now. And then the story is, or that I heard was that then Xbox said, after that next generation, we're not building them anymore. We're gonna switch to just developing games,
yeah, I've read this or
and
heard this.
and and then Sony's like, oh crap, like they're not just behind in generations on their game console, but they're also now behind on what the future holds in gaming. They're already behind the eight ball.
I mean, I like to hear it because I want just in general desktop computers to still be something that is a thing, and the hardware manufacturers make, Intel, AMD, and Nvidia, and and that, and well, maybe Intel and their G. But I guess just because I do more than just game with my, but I don't want desktops to become archaic, because I don't want to um I don't want to go mobile, like fully mobile or fully cloud or something like that. Want want what I'm doing now to
Yeah,
exist for a long time, I guess. So I guess I like hearing that because that means Microsoft's gonna have to keep, well, Windows and that, like the desktop market will still have to be a significant segment for them. I guess
yeah.
that's what I hear, because again, I do more than just.
Well,
That's the
and
thing.
the
Most
other,
people, like most people I know, like coworkers and stuff, they don't, well, maybe don't or don't need, a full on computer. The phone does what they want, but I don't want society, or in general, I don't want my choices to be limited because most of society only needs a phone. And I don't want there to be a premium because I want to be desktop.
yeah,
I like the idea of about $1,000 get you pretty, pretty in the middle of the road you know, get you longevity for, again, you're just gaming, which, and then, but see, I'm gaming, I'm creating in different
Yeah,
ways, you
the
know.
PC does just get used for gaming. I would argue that the gaming laptop actually got used more for just whatever.
Well,
If I needed
well,
to
the
if I
laptop
needed
is
to write something, or if I needed to
yeah.
like
Well,
my drawing stuff is on there that I've been working on,
yeah.
and
Well, the
I
laptop
that
is the same as the desktop, and I could, if laptop hardware could always be what desktop hardware, um, then that's fine. I'll use a dock. But I guess what I'm getting at is I don't want I don't want things to just I don't want desktop to get so niche that that software isn't developed for like it used to, or gaming, you know, because it's I'm kind of going in a weird direction here now, but I'm active on Reddit, and there's a subreddit kind of, uh, well, our generation. I casually browse and occasionally post in, but mostly just browse. Just yeah, it's a lot of just, oh, remember this kind of stuff sometimes.
uh,
But
well, if you need me to, I see what you did.
uh,
If you need me
I
to, I
wasn't
can.
paying attention, is what I was doing. Nope, 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 nope. Got it. Anyway, it'll go. I got it. Like I said, I wasn't really paying attention. Um. Uh. Okay. Yeah. Um. There was, and it's kind of a meme, but like, like Gen Z, and very young, or very young millennials, they'll buy large purchases, or like plane tickets, or stuff that you're going to spend significant money on, or that has significant impact, like buy a $5 on eBay thing, and you screw it up. Oh, big whoop, you're out $5. But you're gonna buy $700 TV. You know, they'll just buy that on using their phone. Whereas like large purchases, or things where you gotta schedule it, or whatever, is always done on a computer, or a large screen, whether it be desktop or laptop. But something with a proper keyboard and whatever, and mouse. Um, where like our generation, that's how we use phones, obviously, and do a lot with them. But when it comes to real productivity, or real purchases, or high, something, a decision or a thing you got to do on the internet that's kind of high stakes, we choose to do it, on a real computer, not a computer in our pocket. And I guess I just don't want the computer in the pocket to be kind of the only, which kind of is with certain sites, like the desktop versions of sites, crappy because they're optimized times. I guess that, and then tying that to gaming, I as well, you know, if consoles are eventually, say the next 10 years, gonna pretty much be dead as far as no new ones are coming. Well, want to play new games, you're going to have the latest, but you're going to have better hardware than 10-year-old Xbox, whatever hardware, whatever that is, or Sony, PlayStation, whatever processor and all that, and upgrade them and all that. Most people aren't going to take it apart to do it. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to go this some form of I I mean
Yeah, but
maybe I'm off base, but I kind of like I'm kind of glad to hear that, I guess. Just this to me, PC gaming is now that technology's morphed, or it can do everything. There's no reason to have a dedicated, locked-in platform.
um, the other thing is, I've noticed that a lot, uh, a lot more people, um, are switching. Like a lot of the farm simmers that maybe not necessarily came from Mixer, but I'm going back to all the like the years that I've been trying to become a streamer or an affiliate and stuff, and some of the people that I kind of grew up with as I was doing that. A lot of those people that were on consoles are now on PC or have both, or
Well, I guess you
it's
kind of
it's
have
kind of
to,
a
because how do you do the stream part on console if it
yeah,
isn't
but I
baked
think
in?
there.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, granted, mine was more of a. It was a purchase at the. I needed a laptop, and it was a purchase at the right time, at the right price. Um, but I think some of the others I'm seeing, they're kind of like. Well, I think the console players that switched, they're like I was, where they could see what you could do, especially in Farm Sim with the PC, and be like, well, man, I really wish I could do that.
Well, yeah, that's compelling. Well, and that's, I guess, but I mean, I'm a tinkerer, you know, with anything and everything I do. So I'm not a big fan of locking myself into something that would be so limiting for even again, I didn't start quote PC gaming until you got one, you're streaming, and like, oh, here's this game we could play together now. The that I mean, I always knew that was a thing. Obviously, I just didn't have anybody that did it. So I was like, well,
Yeah.
why should I do it? So you're the only reason I quote PC game at all. But but that's the thing. I wouldn't not have the hardware because again, video editing, but all this I use a computer for computer is productivity. It's yes, this is yes entertainment, but in a way kind of productivity for a weird way. Where most people, if they don't have any aspirations to game, or there's no reason PC, and that worries me because, well, the market shrinks, and then it's like, wow, they're only going to make certain kind of hardware, certain kind of devices, certain kind of things for a niche, like more of a high end niche. Well, I don't. I'd love to have PC closer on more like your level and or higher. I don't need it. That about $1,000 price range gets me plenty for what I need, but it's more than most people have or need. Again, I do more than just browse the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we got the laptop. That's what that is. But again, pictures, she messes around making little things here. Cricket can't, and you can't do that on a phone. But again, that's a very niche out of the computing general. Well, they're like, oh, that's neat. I wish I could make that. It's like, oh, you can. You got to put a little effort in. I mean, you do have to have the tool. It's a tool. I guess that's the thing. Most people don't need a PC as
Yeah.
you rarely needed one until again you started doing this, and now it's a tool. That's how you kind of got to look at it.
Yeah.
Sure, it's an entertainment tool, but it's a tool for what you want
Well,
to do.
it's a, it's a, it's a, it's allowing me to express myself creatively.
Right, right.
Like, I mean, granted, like, I am playing the game, I am streaming the game, but there's things going on behind this stuff that I'm working on, and that allow me to kind of be creative and use my use my my degree and stuff. So
All right. Well, and that's the thing, and part of it is you know talk to the next guy your age that even grew up similarly. Are they doing something like this? Probably not. you know,
yeah,
and I guess that's the other part of it, and that's with the 3D printer. I mean, it's for personal. Just because I want to. I thought some head.
oh, I do, but I think for what we're doing, I'll just do them when you're on a run.
Okay.
Because that's not the first time I've been down there while you.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, but like the 3D printer, I mean, did I really need it? But I've again used it a lot. Yeah, some of it's trinket stuff, but there's other stuff I've legit made that's useful or help me something else, or and I just have a curiosity and wanting to learn it. I didn't go to school to design things or anything, but I want to learn. I don't have any aspirations of being the best or anything out of it. I just want to be able to. Oh, I need a part that's like this. Oh, look, I can print it. Or I can design something and print it. My other hobby. And like I said, the YouTube and that and all everything requires at least power to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a way to express myself and share what I like to do with other people, and other like-minded people happen to find it. You figured that out too. Different. The stuff's different. You found it. You found communities that are like, oh.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still don't do it, and I get it. There's got to be some motivation, good, or just want to be spoon fed. But yeah, I guess the roundabout way, PCs development, chips, all that for the home user, not just enterprise stuff. Um, sticks, sticks around and stays portable.
Well, I can't remember. I think may have touched on this, but one of the things that amazes me, I know I heard last month. In fact, I just heard it again in the news that they are gonna take AI and put it into the game. So, like, if you walk to an NPC,
Oh
you'll
yeah,
be.
you can kind of
Actually, we
talk to
did
it.
talk about it last stream, but yeah, they're doing it to a couple of more popular games. And one of the ones was already like it's like the world's largest basically map because it has like galaxies built into it and stuff. It's not a game I play, but Um, I just heard about it. But anyways, like I'm just thinking about, like the next farm sim. Could it be that you're actually talking to somebody? I mean, you kind of do now, but in 25 you can, but in 25 they're programmed responses.
Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, there's a whole genre. It's mainly real big in Japan, but like dating sim games. Well, I heard that, especially with like ChatGPT, there's basically using those kind of large language models, so people who play those that are be lonely as hell or whatever basically can have a digital girlfriend. Well,
Yeah.
it would be using that kind of um, idea, but only for this game. So they're like, well, you could like, yeah, make friends with in the game, or whatever, as helpers, or give you advice or whatever. Yeah, I could see it. I could see it because, like I said, I can't point to anything, but I know it's some shape or way, shape or form. It's already exists in other types of games. That's just one that I've heard out of, and knew that genre exists. Now with kind of the large language, making it so it can talk about anything, not just canned responses.
Have you have you seen, speaking of talking about anything, have you seen the commercials they're trying to do for the AI now? Like they show the couple I've seen, they're showing sports stars. One of them's a basketball player, and I can't remember who the other one is. But they're they're having like the commercial to me is just so I know they say this if it's something stupid or something you remember, but I actually don't remember who's it for. But the commercial is so stupid because it's like the the guy's trying to come up with I think it's a nickname for himself, and he's talking to the AI about it, and it's like okay, I get it, you're trying to do something for the commercial, but this commercial is just so dumb.
Yeah. Well, I stumbled
It
on.
it makes me not want to talk to the AI because it's like I want to. If I was gonna try and talk like the guy's trying to do, I want to have an intelligent conversation, not a
Yeah.
conversation about what my nickname should be.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's funny. I ran across and watched two videos now of the guy, and me and Katie both watched it, and it was kind of hilarious. I don't know how it got in my feed, but I watched it. But this guy, he has conversations with Chat GPT, at like, because they have a version that can actually speak rather than just type back to you or whatever, so it can
Yeah.
listen and then speak. And one of them where he was putting Chat GPT, I mean, making the conversation, but steering it into having Chat GPT like make some like pretty like extreme like moral decisions. It's like this kid is drowning, but you say you know about morality and stuff, and then this other, and he got it so the AI was all real kind of twisted up and kind of contradicting itself, because he's like, well, just before you said this, it's like, and then one of us like trying to convince it that it had consciousness, and he got it all confused, and then says, so when you said you were extremely happy that you can speak, that was a lie because you just told me you don't have emotions or something. And says so. And it says, "Well, I wanted to make it more conversational. It was like giving excuses why he gave the thing." And then he says he just got it, and then he got it to admit it's like, "So sometimes you lie," and it's like, "Yes." It was just hilarious. But that kind of makes me think about something like this in the game, you know, where but I guess I go back to like heard of those dating games. I guess you know incels or whatever that are on social, like they get you know believe it's get themselves believe it's real. I mean, there's a whole future basically
Yeah.
product. Oh, it's wild that it's can have a complex conversation about it, yet it it's not sent, not you know, but it's just trying to be agreeable, but it had to contradict it, call it out. You could tell. I mean, if it was a real person, it basically, uh, you know, trying to embarrass ChatGPT.
Yeah.
A lot of the comments on the video was kind of like when ChatGPT comes home, I ask, "How was the day? Tough day? Tough day at the office? Getting grilled by somebody for YouTube content." But yeah, it's kind of wild to think that it could, again, suspend your belief and whatever. Something like this, if it gets that advanced, have like PCs that are interacting with.
Well, and like I said, they do, but they're programmed. And I haven't dove into them too much because that day I was showing you guys, like, I was afraid because the character was the grandpa, and
Yeah,
he's only one. There's like three or four of them, and I finally figured out where one of the other ones are. But Grandpa wanted to give you a contract because he's trying to do a tutorial, so he wanted to give you a contract, and I was like, I don't want to take the contract because there are some contracts in there for $1,000 or 1,500 or whatever, and it was like I'm not into doing those kind of contracts. So like I was just like I'm not gonna go through this.
yeah.
And I don't know what one of the other there's a gal in there and there's another guy and I don't know where the guy is. I found the gal. She's at the animal dealership, so she obviously has something to do with the animals. I like I would like I think if you're gonna have a grandpa character, and I think if I'd go through things he might actually do a little bit, but um they're supposed to because there's supposed to be a part in there where he kind of tells you old stories and stuff, like you would think of Grandpa doing, and like I think that would be cool if in farm sim terms, anyways, if you could have him like have a AI guy kind of spin the story, and then have like the story be different every time you go in instead of just being the same old story because it's programmed in. And I'm sure there's other things you could do that I'm thinking of. I'm just thinking off the very top of my head. So we're about ready to go back and get that other back part of this field now that I'm getting close to this end. Oh, it's off. Okay, try that. Having that GPS in the game, even if it's a smaller field, is so nice. I have noticed that a lot of people, I've seen a couple of things. So like, I've noticed that people are still doing the headlands first and then the field. Which, anyway, it's a game. I'm not gonna bust anybody for that. Um, but I heard that people were complaining to Giants that's what that it was if you hired the AI guy, that the AI guy would do the inside first and then do the headlines, and they were complaining because that's not how people played the game.
Oh.
I'm like, I completely switched my gameplay around
Yeah.
because I not that I've ever really stuck to being super realistic with my gameplay, but I'm like, that's one of the things I think it kind of brings to the game is that you can play that way. I think it's kind of, I guess, secretly in the back of my head, it's always kind of bugged me a little bit because of thinking back when I was doing fields or discing fields or whatever, and it's like, um, that's not how I would do it. but but I just accepted it uh because it was just easier to do it the other way in the game. So like being able to actually do the middles first kind of makes me my OCD happy. I guess is I don't.
Honestly, maybe should join that stations now.
Oh.
Maybe I should just to see.
So so I did the same thing. I did the same thing I did with 22, which is when the game launched, there was a group, and it was about FS 25 mods and 22 mods, and I mean the one in 22 was obviously 22 mods, and the one in 25 was obviously 25 mods, but the especially in the beginning, the amount of complaining that people were doing is like I don't want to listen to this because they're like everyone was like this game's broken and and it's like it's not. It's like yes they have to work on it, but it's like it's it's like that's it's that way with every game. It's not just farm sim. They'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
It's only day one. You'll live.
Well, I know. That's almost a. Oh, the old game. Bottom. They. You know, when you're developing games.
Yeah, and it's especially with this game, um, especially with this game because everybody does things their own way. There's there's no it's a sandbox game. There's no wrong way to play it. Um, you just do what makes you happy, and you know, but because of that, uh, I guess my opinion has always been that because of that, you can't anticipate what's going to be wrong until it's gone through, um, until the people that are going to find that something wrong with the game because they're trying to do something the way they want to do it and it's not working. And it's something that's obviously wrong and not something that they're doing wrong. And I don't think you can anticipate that. I do like though, um, on Riverbend that chicken coop that Gold found. Um,
Yeah, I need to watch that. I would work. But I.
oh no, I'm talking about. I'm
What's
talking about not the video I sent. Though talking about when I was streaming the first look, my first look at it
okay?
at FS25 when he came in and he said that chicken coop, if it was busted or not. In the last update, what they did was they took away the where the eggs were supposed to spawn. They took that away, and then they put all this. They put sawhorses and stuff up so that the chicken coop looks like it's under construction now. And I was like, I kind of like that they did that because it's kind of like having fun with the because they're obviously working at it, but evidently it wasn't one of the fixes they thought they needed to fix first. So well, so far I managed to on 25. Like I haven't deleted the first. I haven't deleted Riverbend yet, and I don't plan on it. What I'm kind of hoping to do is, like I said, I was getting burned out. I'm starting to feel a little burned out on it, but I know if I quit now and work on some other maps that um I'll have a I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
So I am. What I'm hoping is that um I can do something where it's like that save I've worked from the very beginning when the game dropped, and when the whenever the next one comes out, which would assume would be in 2028, or well, it'll be 2027, but it'll be Farm Sim 28. Um, that I could finish everything off with the original, uh, or the original map that I played and see where I got it to.
Yeah. Kind of a.
It would be neat. I don't know if I can get it done because I know with FS22, actually, I ended up. Well, I started on the laptop, so there's no. I mean, I could have done the save and could have restreamed it and stuff, but like on the PC, I ended up reloading the game um halfway through this year and going through things. So it's like it would be a neat goal. I don't know if it's going to be possible or not. We'll just have to see what the next few years brings. But if not, maybe Easy Dev will be out and I can recreate where I was. They already brought out power tools, which I kind of figured they would. It's kind of like Easy Dev, but it's on a little bit lighter on things. You can at least add money and subtract money. This is definitely gonna need a headland.
Around. Here it's going. Still should be.
That's all right. I have an idea. I'm gonna. Um. I think I'm gonna try and keep. Now that we're kind of back here and everything, I maybe should have done this from the start, but I'm gonna kind of try and keep the pipe out on the off the crop.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go to the other end and
Well,
start
yeah, I
there.
can't back.
Yeah. Next Friday, I won't be able to stream. My company Christmas party is next Friday.
Well, mine's tomorrow night. We're at kind of a not Dave and Buster's.
Oh, that's kind of funny because ours is going to be at the Big Apple.
Okay. Well, and I guess I this particular type of juice I don't have bowling. And of course they have an arcade. I don't know if they have. Well, I mean I know modern stuff, but I don't know if they have. I hope they have some stuff, or not just ticket redemption.
Yeah. Well, I'm next weekend is a busy weekend for me because I got that, and then I've got a wedding reception to go to on Saturday night. But I don't know about yours. Ours does prime rib every year, and it's done by a place that smokes it.
Yeah, actually, that's the thing. Really, what it'll be. I mean,
I'm
fancy.
at the I'm at the other end of the
Yeah,
field.
I see. Think you'll
Oh,
be able to
okay.
make it to the end? I'll just.
Yeah. Actually, you'll probably be in the trees because
Well, I'm gonna wait till you get.
yeah, but
If you can.
well, I'm like the current line that my GPS is on. That's not really cutting anything, so this what I'm saying. You're gonna be in the trees over here.
Yeah, I hope they have Pac-Man or what I can.
So we do because they do it at the Big Apple. They do this. They do a pool tournament and a dart tournament, and the we had a guy last year. He doesn't work with us anymore, but he was talking about he was a he plays pool or he played pool in league, and then he also was like he'd win tournaments and he'd end up going to Vegas to play pool. And so he's like, "Oh man," he goes, I'm gonna win this easy, no problem." And I don't even remember what the prize is if you do win. But anyways, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna clean house with everybody because like no one else there plays pool." Well, um, I think it was like I think he made it through a round or two, and then he ended up playing a guy that, although he doesn't play in league or anything, um, must know a little bit about pool or something because he ended up like he ended up like getting to the point where he was gonna win, and this pool guy, he's just like realized he'd already lost the game. He he'd already lost the game, and there was no way that he was gonna come back. So then he didn't even finish the game. He just like hit all the balls and drew kind of a fit, and um he was upset that he got beat. I was just like last year, the guy I played, I was just like, oh well, we're okay, we're done. Good. Okay, I hope you had fun. You
Yeah.
just yeah.
Well, they're gonna have a call it a tournament per se. Just everybody's gonna get a turn and bowl, and then it's I don't know.
Oh,
It's kind of a deal where like kind of feels semi man gotta go. You know.
no. Ours isn't mandatory, but it's well worth your
Well,
effort to
it's
go.
not. It's not, but it feels like.
No, ours you get a pretty decent gift card, and um then it I think last year I don't know if it'll be the same way this year or not, but last year they had a um one was you had two choices and they were thrown in a bag and you didn't get to see which one you drew them out of the bag, and I ended up one of the guys I work with out there, he said, "No, I don't." He goes, "Because one was Cabela's and the other was Walmart." And he goes, "I don't really have anything at Cabela's I want." And he's like, "Would you give me your Walmart one? Trade me over?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So, so there's that. And then their prime rib is really good, and they do an open bar, free drinks all night, and then yeah, you do the tournament, and then they also do pies, and they were really good. Um, and other than that, we just kind of walk around and chit chat with different people, and
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. There's plenty of people I enjoy work with being around, so that does.
yeah, I'll have to deal with my one coworker that I don't enjoy, but I figure for a couple hours I can manage.
Yeah.
And I also my plan is I know enough because I was there last year, because I kind of know what I need to be there for, or when is the right time to leave and whatnot. I figure I have a good excuse since I'm going to be out again on Saturday night um at the wedding reception. So um I think I'll probably cut out pretty early. I'm not going to try and close the bar down. If I remember right, last year I did stay decently late, like 11:30, something like that. Um, but yeah, I probably won't. I'll make sure. I'll make sure. Like I said, I'll hit the tournaments because I signed up for them, and I'll make sure I get the food, and um, there'll be some coworkers that I'll say hi to and talk to and stuff. But and then I'm probably gonna ditch out as early as I possibly can. And then if anybody asks to be like, well, I have to be somewhere else the next night, and I have to be kind of good. So I don't even know if I'll have a drink. I might have one, but I don't know if driving home if I want to risk getting pulled over.
The good thing about where this is, it's pretty close. Most everybody else is gonna kind of a longer drive, like 45 minutes, like where they're having it, down. Well, you remember, kind of down by, um, well, might remember Grand Prix Motorsports, Santa Fe and 470, kind of down that. It's on the south end.
Okay. I
You might,
kind
you,
of
you
do.
might. That would have been a. But anyway, south, kind of south and east. But like a lot of people remember up like where Mr. Crab Shack was.
We never went to Joe's Crab Shack.
I thought we did. Well,
if we did, oh, it was only one time.
yeah. Well, but anyway, like everybody lives up north, like after kind of just
Yeah,
before you get out of town up there, so they got to go clear across town, and not a real nice way.
yeah,
But kind of a day, like the Big Apple, just actually, like their own private.
yeah.
Yeah, Big Apple. I haven't been there. I do remember pool area. Seemed like I have. Sure, they don't have.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
lot.
they cut a lot of those out now. Now it's down to maybe like 5 or 6, and then they added darts to the one wall. And actually, because we uh legalized um gambling, they took the one corner and added the skill games.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember college, but I do remember going out for like youth group. They're all lock in type
Yeah,
Apple. And you had to bring your own money for video games. But pool was when had the tables there, and um, but bowling was unlimited.
yeah,
Well, it was a youth group deal, but it was like a big uh, group conglomerate, I guess you'd say. So it was kids from all over. So that was kind of
yeah,
neat because you got to meet you just meet different people that whatever.
yeah.
Was they were from down into Kansas, but north of Kearney and stuff.
See, we never our youth group. The only time that we ever got together with other people from other churches, as far as like youth groups, was if we went to church camp.
Well, man, did that too, but
But
this
we didn't go down to the one by the lake. We actually went all the way to Ashland the couple times that I did that.
well, we went to which is up by Mark. That was Timberlake Ranch.
Oh,
So they had, I mean, you had to sign up for there. Like they had like horseback riding and like other things that you could learn, but those
uh,
cost extra. But paddle boats and and then kind of had animals, kind of a animals.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, so we went there, but that's actually how I found out about it. Well, the youth group was called Teens for Christ. Was again like a very big regional. Said that people that came down into maybe some far south is like Hayes, but most of them were kind of Phillipsburg, those little there, and then it was a lot of home
Oh.
there. But then there was me, some others. Like he was there for Chris Whip.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were. Um, but and I forget the age. Teens, so it was teen
Yeah.
kind of deal. But yeah, I mean there'd be something like 300 kids though. There, Big Apple. I mean it was packed, and then but it was an all night deal, and really you know no sleeping kind of deal because they didn't want you to because um I forget how there was about three like I guess what you'd call like church devotional, where somebody sat and spoke, and talked, I guess, preached to you.
Yeah.
Not really a sermon, but song, and I don't know how to describe it. Like church, but not parts. That was every I don't know, every hours or something. I mean there wasn't, but anyway, they had those in the they had that stuff. Everybody had to go in bar pool table area because that had the PA, like good PA system, and and it had the TV, the big screen TV. They could put the word songs.
Yeah.
Anyway, what we would do is, there were so many kids, something like 300 or whatever. They couldn't exactly keep everybody. So like, they'd set. I remember there was kind of how it was where the bar area, like, sit and watch elevated versus the pool table. I don't know if it's that, but all the kids would be sitting there and they'd be up there, kind of preaching down us. Well, we'd eventually kind of like scooching closer to a pool table and then lay under the pool tables and nap or sleep. So we were ready to go for when uh we were ready to go when quote church broke, so then we could go and have not be tired and go back to bowling or whatever. Oh
Yeah.
well, they had the mini golf, but see, it was always like in the fall when it was cold, and they technically had the mini golf side closed, but it's like here's the balls and go. But like none of the wasn't clean. Like if there was a leak, but we didn't care. That
Yeah.
run around and then they had they had sodas, but I mean
Yeah.
it was like 7 to 7. I mean it was all night. Dropped us off and then picked us up in the morning. But There's a couple times they took a pool cue and was like poking us, like, wake up, pay attention. Church time.
Yeah.
We didn't want to get, we wanted to get kind of like power naps so we could go all night kind of. And that's the
Yeah.
thing is when it got closer to morning, there was again, but we were still until it was done, and then we came home, and then
Yeah.
in a way, it was kind of prepped me for college. you know.
I think we tried to do like one of those youth group walk-ins at our church, and of course they advertise as, I can't remember if you're gonna watch movies all night or something, and you get about like 2 o'clock in the morning, and you just kind of want to just go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of prom and post prom. Yeah, about 2 o'clock, 2:30. All right, I've had my. Yeah. At least I think
Yeah.
at least I think that got out 5 or 6 or Arnie were there. Me, another hour drive home.
Yeah. Okay. I remember. So my junior year I didn't stay that long, but I didn't have a date or anything. I took that year, but my senior year I can remember staying for the whole thing, and yeah, driving back to my house at like, yeah, I want to say the sun was coming up, so it had to have been about 6.
Yeah, no, it was a daybreak because I was closer. So yeah, I did have to drive that mile home there, and like I was falling even to fall asleep at that. But yeah, it was just the sun.
I don't think I was falling asleep, but I was definitely feeling it. I can remember. I remember that part, and I was like trying to get me in the date back to my house because she was from way up north, and so I had set it up so that she could sleep in my sister's bed. And then I went the year after too. Um, and I went to the after party for that one too, but I don't remember it being. Man, I would have had to, because that year I would have been in college, so I would have had to. I'd had to get my sleep in and then turn around and drive all the way back to school.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess thinking of the Big Apple, that's and no, here 4 of those fairly active. Like they had other weekly or bi-weekly.
I was pretty active in mine until my senior year, and basically I was like I was really active up until, and I think you probably have the same experience. I was pretty active in mine until because we went skiing every couple of years. And so then I think the last year that they took me skiing would have been my junior year. So then my senior year, it was kind of like, yeah, I would bust my butt off to do the everything you needed to sell and to make money for that stuff. and so I'm like, by the time I got to my senior year, I'm like, I put my time and my effort in. Um, I'm not gonna do it just so that just so the others did. But part of that, and I know that kind of sounds maybe a little bit bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I was, I can remember several times that, like pork days, for example, when you were doing funnel cakes, I had to take like, because you're supposed to do like an hour shift or 2 hour shifts or whatever, and there was people not showing up, and so I did like 3 or 4 shifts in a row, and I felt by the time I got to a senior, I'd done more than my fair share covering for people. But I was like, if I'm not gonna get to go to the next one, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, see, that's the thing. Christ wasn't the I went.
Oh,
It was actually, well, wasn't through any local. Actually, its own thing. Look it up, because uh, um, yeah. See, part of the reason I was Methodist, and but which was part of the Alma, and
uh huh,
uh, I couple of those uh get-togethers for them again, kind of lame. Also, I didn't like the other kids. They were not not well. They
yeah,
were just in it because they were making it. They weren't. I mean, they were kind of. I'm not gonna name names. They were kind of not. They were doing it for sure. Um, so I actually in that's how this youth group was based on, like, but it wasn't church in Alma or its own organization. But and actually, again, Noah was the one who and went, and it was kind of neat, because again at that time, but it was actually fun because actually like listen to music and kind of rated it. I mean, yes, a lot of it was Christian stuff, Christian rock or whatever, but the guy leading it was real into music, that, and like made it fun, like, and just, well, let's talk about God and Jesus. Oh, no, he actually did other act, I guess, like the activities had a little bit to do with that, but it wasn't like Sunday, you know. Trying to
yeah,
teach you, wasn't a lot of Bible. It was like what I wanted youth to be, fun, hip, kind of hip actually. Oh, if we sang, it was like songs that actually beat stuff. I don't know how to describe it. It was, again, 12, 13. Yeah, it was just more fun. And again, then they might deal again. Again, it was spiritually focused, but it wasn't like naive. guy, the group, the organization was. They knew bad stuff was in. They knew that we're not all saints and stuff like that, you know. So they didn't like actually like real. I guess
Yeah.
might have liked it actually because of that. It wasn't shove it down your throat. I don't know how else to. But anyway, there was other smaller events, you know, like party. You know, kind of a out of me. I want to say it was, but again, there's always music, and you know, like popular. Obviously, it had to be, you know, current popular music. Yeah, some of it was cup of tea, but it wasn't like the terrible stuff I
Yeah.
could stuff. I don't know how to, but it was kind of like, you know, they had like dances, just socializing. Yes, maybe that's more. And it, and it wasn't local. Able to. That was. I guess that was. Got to
Yeah.
see. I got to see different people. Knew some of these diapers, you know,
Yeah.
and and some that's charming in some ways, but then other ways kind of boring too.
Yeah.
Now that I think, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you haven't been seeking them out or anything, so you wouldn't be in the loop on if they are or not.
Well, and that's the thing is the guys that heads this up. I mean, he was like tasting. That's the thing. Like he was local, and he traveled to all these little towns, and I don't know if it was every night when the same thing. It was like where our meetings was. Wasn't it in church? It was on the stage. That for
Oh.
yeah, like that and stuff too. Yeah, so it was a very different, I guess. And I guess it's sort of a time for that, but also
Yeah.
not like the other town. Like if you wanted to be hardcore 4-H, you would have had to go to. I couldn't. They're weird. There, for some reason.
Well, speaking of 4-H, so because I did 4-H, we did our horse stuff in a group, but um, I would kind of do kind of like what you're just talking about, but it. I want to say like one of the things I did was photography, and we did that in Oxford actually, because they did a joint thing between Furnace and Harlan. And then one of the things I remember, and I did this like several years, like 3 or 4, um, was they did actually 2 different things, but one of the things they did was a space. Um, I don't want to call it a camp, but it wasn't really a camp. It was just like a day, they got the auditorium here in Holdridge, and we would come up for the day, and they'd have different stations, and you'd spend maybe an hour in each station doing different things, different activities. And the other one that we did was they tried to do a cultural one where you tried different foods and stuff and learned about different cultures, um but those were set up so like space camp, so it was all the kind of the area like Furnace and Harlan and Franklin and I'm sure Kearney County and obviously Holdridge and or Phelps County and stuff would all get together.
Yeah. Well, we just, and that's the thing. Really like it out here, and I like it too. You know what? And I guess a lot of it is that are in it. There are people,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that's like
our kind of our kind. There are kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Is what I mean, and it's not all that kind.
No, and Brooke got her boys into doing different 4-H things, and she's trying to find them. Like she's got them signed up for a bunch of different things, and then I was like, well, rocketry is actually, especially at their age now, is decently easy, pretty easy. I'm like, as they grow up, it'll get a little bit harder because you have to do a little bit more, but um I like it's pretty easy, and it's I enjoyed it when I was growing up doing it, and I'm like, so we started getting into doing that stuff, and um yeah, when we did it, we only had the horses was the only thing we did in the group, but because we were part of that group for the horses, everything else we did was considered part of that group, part of that club. We were part of that club, but we could do other activities under that club.
Right up. I never really understood, and we just time for we. Short for act.
Yeah.
Never really understood. Now I do, and thing. I'm glad. Try it. Try something, and that's really again different, and also like they conduct things and stand up and thing we they're
Uh huh.
helped creations. You know, kind of a recruiting deal that there's over far away grandparents, but it's kind of a
Yeah.
it's called cider days, so they it's kind of like Apple Fest in a way, but only a lot bigger because they have a whole compound that has all the building stuff, like almost like a miniature Pioneer Village in a way.
Uh huh.
But then all the tractor pulling engines and stuff. Then there's vendors, food, and beer garden, ciders. But there's he kind of interested for whatever reason, and kind of a little bit into because there's some hives over the club, ends them several times. This kid, he's older than projects there, and funny. Again, we just got started with it summer. This finally got old enough. Guess when trip is like, so it's kind of like in scouting.
Yeah.
When you're real, so it's that kind
of yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of neat stuff like that, and so he got to help present things people want. People's
yeah.
But they always have some fun little. Again, kind of like youth group, but without the. In a way.
Yep. Well, that's what because I also did 4-H and I did Boy Scouts and I always kind of thought all that stuff was like it was all kind of meant to be the same thing. Whereas like you get to do different activities and kind of explore things and you kind of try and find what you're interested in and stuff and learn about stuff. And it was just that one was called 4-H, one was called Boy Scouts, and one was called Youth Group.
Yeah.
Although Youth Group was more about the only time we ever did activities maybe that weren't necessarily related was when we went to church camp. Because like I said, our church camp was in Ashland, and they have. I don't remember exactly now. It's still around, but they have different areas, and so like the one that we stayed at that the year I went, and maybe that was the only year I did go. Now that I think about it, but the year I went was we were in the horse riding area, and I can't remember what the other ones were themed to do, but it was kind of funny though because we were in the horse riding one, but I think the gal that was supposed to run the area for the horses for us to ride, I think she was sick that week or something. Had something serious going on, so they never really let us ride the horses. So we did a lot of other things like roping. We learned how to rope, and then they always had they had a kind of like a pond, kind of like, except for it had trees around it and stuff. But that's where we'd go swimming, and you went swimming there like once or twice a day. I think once a day. I don't remember what other activities we did, but I just thought it was always kind of funny because it was like we were there to ride horses, and then we never did get to ride horses once. Oh, I think I know why. Because it had rained, and it was wet and muddy, and it was like super wet and muddy, and I think what they did was they kept promising us like, oh, we can't go today because it's still too wet, but we'll go tomorrow, and basically we went through the whole week. We never did go ride a horse.
Yes, well, I will say that was one thing. At Timberlake, well, you could actually sign up horsemanship week, actually horsemanship. But just regular quote that did get to once or twice. I remember doing it a couple times. Did get to trail wide open, had some trails, and you did it as a group, but got to horseback ride, trail ride. And I mean, these were dynamite horses. Ones that just don't.
Yeah,
Or, I'm not. They're old enough, and they just kind of didn't really have to
yeah,
do much. But um, had those. Like it was a decent trail ride. Like, and uh, that was kind of. Again, we had a horse on the farm, but it. But kind of fun. Actually, yeah, those first times I actually, well, they showed that was fun. Had like, I mean, this was a big camp. I don't know, sizable, different places you pay,
yeah,
and then up at the water slide, of course, pond, diving board, that kind of stuff. Paddle boat had kind of an obstacle course. Now it was meant um done as a group like campers. Each obstacle thing had some usually had some sort
yeah,
then they had they call the high ropes course. Like you got to actually like harnessed in and everything, walk around high, high ropes, on like a tightrope kind of deal, around and then zip, and you got to zip down. Had this one which not everybody did it because it was pretty high, but they called it the power pole. I mean, kind of overcoming your fears and stuff like that. But anyway, what it was is you climbed like a literal power pole, like lineman would, stood on the top, and then trapeze. I don't know how far out, but close enough you could jump and then grab it, get it, and and I did it. Again, I don't know how tall, but I mean it was 20, 30 feet up. Or you know, think of a typical tower telephone.
uh-huh.
That's much how high it was, and the funny part is there's a bunch of kids that got up there and see that thing wiggles around, and you had to climb up with your back to it, stand on the top and turn around, then you could. Well, a couple of kids, for me, got either would fall off trying to turn, around, get that far, or they get turned around, they jump and they miss or arm strength, whatever, couldn't hold themselves. Grab it. Well, I got up there, jumped, and I was able to get it, and onto it. Then you just, I don't know. Thinking back now, it's like kind of I didn't kind of waivers we had to sign. I didn't remember.
Well, back then they didn't have you. They didn't have to have you sign
Yeah,
waivers.
probably not. I mean, but no, but you know, I mean, it was all safe. Like, had spotters, high rope steel, had to buck and spot you in. Okay, you got put the next one on before the other. Other thing, play power pole deal. It was, but I'm saying, you know, like that's the only time I'm gonna do something like that. I didn't think Jody did it. I don't think she fell kind of turn. She couldn't. I think he did, and he was able. Seemed wild because, like, forget age that was. Yeah, because I was only had to be on.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that was the one thing they gave you a decent whatever you want. But again, that was also people from all over, all over the farthest hour and a half hour drive. Well, I'm thinking maybe might be about.
Yeah. Same here. I think maybe next time next time we do this, we'll actually have this
Yeah.
contract done. But
Well, I'm curious to see.
yeah, yeah.